You were standing in the kitchen. You placed the two slices of fresh bread in the toaster and started to make the omelette. As you were whisking the eggs, you heard the heavy footsteps coming down the stairs. You didn't need to turn your head. You already knew who it was. It was your husband, Jungkook. Your co-rich and handsome CEO husband with whom you had been tied in an arranged marriage. Your grip on the whisker tightened. You were not used to this life, the giant house, the cold stares from him, and worst of all, the feeling that you were strangers. You forced a calm voice as he entered the dining area. Oh, breakfast is ready. You said without even bothering to look at him. He gave a small nod and sat down at the wooden table. You carried the plates one by one, two boiled eggs, golden toasted bread, and his favorite waffles with chocolate syrup that was slowly dripping down the sides. He looked at the perfectly served breakfast. Thanks. You didn't reply and turned back towards the kitchen without meeting his eyes. Jungkook tilted his head and looked at you confused. You opened the kitchen cabinets one by one and muttered, "Where'd I put those coffee beans?" As you checked all the lower drawers, you remembered that you had put them on the top shelf while cleaning the kitchen. With a sigh, you dragged the counter stool and carefully climbed up. You stretched your delicate arms to reach due to your weight. The small, fragile stool wobbled dangerously, but you ignored it. Biting your lip as you stood on tiptoe, Jungkook was seeing you. He quickly gulped it down and wiping his hand with the handkerchief, he stood up. "Wait, Ryan, let me help you," he offered. You let out a low sigh as you opened the cabinet and found the jar of coffee beans. "See, I am doing it myself. You don't need to interfere in my matters. I can do it." He frowned at your attitude and rushed to the kitchen. "But see how the chair is wobbling. What if you fell down?" You groaned slowly, your button nose flaring. "Why are you so much worried about me, huh? I don't need your sympathy. Don't forget. I have no feelings for you. How many times would I have to remind you?" Jungkook jaw clenched. He gave you a dark stare. "That is not my fault, Ryan. You could leave me if you want to." You took out the jar and looked back at him. Your hands trembled slightly on the jar as you spat. "Leave you? Dreams on. I am not even interested in you to begin with. I will always treat you like a stranger." You yelled out. He scoffed bitterly, crossing his arms. His gaze never left yours. You groaned heavily and then tried to tiptoe on your feet again to close the cabinet, but then suddenly your foot slipped. You gasped as the stool wobbled crazily. You clutched the jar tightly as you lost your balance, but before your body could hit the ground, Jungkook quickly caught you. Your heart hammered in your chest as you found yourself pressed. His heartbeat thumped against your ribcage. "Now what happened, hmm? Why did you climb?" he asked in a teasing tone as he slightly smirked. Your cheeks widened. Your wide eyes met his for a moment and then you quickly pushed against. "I can take care of myself. You don't need to." You stuttered, trying to sound cold, but your voice betrayed the heat on your cheeks. He tilted his head slightly while smirking. "Oh, so you are gonna take care of yourself by falling down like this?" You rolled your eyes looking at him. "Let me fall if I want to. I don't need you." Jungkook's smirk faded into a tired sigh. He shrugged as if brushing off your words and turned away. Pulling his black coat over his shoulders, he reached for his car keys on the counter. You frowned and glanced at his breakfast plate. He had taken only 2 bites. "Oh, breakfast?" you asked hesitantly as you clutched the jar of beans tightly in your hands. He stopped mid-step and glanced back at you with a sarcastic laugh. "Nope, you already stuffed my tummy with your delicious word," he said and walked out. You stood there for a moment and then let out a dramatic sigh. "Why is such an arrogant icy cold man?" You groaned loudly, throwing the jar onto the counter with a thud. You slumped into the dining table chair. "I'm not here to babysit you either," you muttered while chewing the breakfast you had made for him in the evening. The house was quiet when suddenly the front door opened and Jungkook walked in. He threw his back on the couch and loosened his tie with one hand, his sharp jawline illuminated by the warm glow of the chandelier above. He stepped out of his shoes neatly and then he glanced around. His eyes were searching for you. Mostly when he returned from the office, you would be in the kitchen making dinner or sitting in the living room watching a K drama, but today the house was really quiet, which made him frown. Wyan, he called out. No reply. A small sigh escaped his lips, almost as if disappointment had become his habit these days. Finally, he headed upstairs. As he reached the master bedroom, he stopped at the door. His gaze landed on you. You were standing in front of a full length mirror. Your hair was falling loosely over your shoulders. Then something else caught his attention. The actions you were doing, you had placed your hands on your waist and were mimicking his cold expressions. Your lips were curved in mock seriousness as you deepened your voice after clearing your throat. Ha! I don't want breakfast. Your delicious words stuff my tummy. You mocked while rolling your eyes dramatically. You giggled to yourself and then switched the poses. You folded your arms and lifted your chin arrogantly. It's not my fault that you married me. Jungkook eyes widened for a moment before he smirked. He leaned against the door frame, just enjoying the view in front of his eyes. You look so cute, so unguarded, so different from the cold and rude wife you pretended to be in front of him. You cleared your throat again to mimic his style when he spoke from behind. You forgot one thing, I also say. I'm not dying for your attention. He quickly straightened his posture and imitated himself. Your eyes widened and you slapped your forehead. Oh, yeah, I forgot to add that. By the way, thanks for reminding. You replied automatically, but then realization hit you like a stone. You gulped down and slowly turned your head towards the doorway, still hoping in your little mind that it was just a hallucination. But then your jaw dropped to the ground. He was actually at the doorway with his arms folded, your cheeks burnt instantly. Oh my. He took a step forward. Hello, your acting skills are impressive. By the way, you look beautiful. Your throat went dry, you parted your lips to form a word, but no word came out. You spun around in panic and clumsily rushed towards the bathroom, but in your hurry, your foot slipped against the rug and you yelped, stumbling forward, and then finally you landed on the floor. The pain shoot you up your ankle. Jungkook eyes widened in shock. He quickly rushed to you. He crouched beside you immediately. His eyes scanned your face with worry. You missed trying to hold back tears. Who told you to rush like a rabbit? He asked in a concerned voice. You glared at him through your pain. Excuse me, that's you. Oh, I told you to run. I am hurt, but still you are fighting with me. Oh, sorry. His hand reached for your ankle gently. Let me help you. No thanks, I will help myself. He let out a sigh. Okay, then try. You glared at him, then tried to push yourself up, but the sharp pain made you yelp again. Ah, Jungkook sighed heavily, almost as if he was expecting this. He then helped you to the bed. Your eyes widened. But he simply ignored you. He made you lay on the bed and gently pulled the blanket under your leg. Then he fetched out a first aid box from the drawer and started to apply ointment on your wound. You winced. He looked up at you. Why are you always like this, Ryan? He muttered as he dabbed the cream onto your swollen ankle. You pouted stubbornly while staring at the blanket instead of him. You refused to answer, but when the ointment stung, you winced. Ah, it hurts. Don't cry like a baby. You narrowed your eyes at him. Hey, I'm not a baby. Okay, then stop crying. Your lips parted to shout at him, but instead you wiped your tears and didn't reply. He let out a soft chuckle. Are you laughing at me? He held up his hand in surrender. Sorry, I won't. Once he was done, he placed the first aid box in the drawer, then pulling the blanket on you, he turned off the light. You turned your head slowly, staring at him with wide eyes. What are you doing? He turned his face towards you and his dark eyes locked with yours. Staying here to make sure my rabbit wife doesn't jump around again. You scoffed. Excuse me, you are the rabbit, not me. Everyone knows. No one can win from woman in argument. Annoying but cute, you muttered before drifting into a sleep. In the morning, you were sitting on the dining table across from Jungkook while quietly chewing the toast. Just as you lifted your cup of coffee, the doorbell rang. Jungkook looked up from his plate. Wait, I will open it, he said, already standing halfway. You quietly set the cup down while shaking your head. No, you are already late for the office. I will open it. You have the breakfast. He raised an eyebrow but didn't argue, leaning back in his chair as you left the dining room. As you reached the front door, you opened it. Your smile faded instantly. There was a man standing at the doorway. He was probably in his mid 40s. He had slick black hair, a flashy golden chain around his neck, and the kind of smirk that made your stomach twist uncomfortably. His eyes swept over you head to toe. Your brows furrowed. Excuse me, who are you? I think you have come to the wrong address. The man leaned one arm casually against the door frame. Oh no, I am at the exact right address. Now let me in. But before he could say something else, he was already in. Why and who it is? He called out, but then hearing the footsteps coming towards him, he looked up. The toast slipped from his hand and fell on the table. You walked behind the man after locking the door. Ah, my sweet nephew, I am here. Jungkook's expression darkened as his eyes landed on the man. His jaw clenched and he quickly rose up from the chair. What are you doing here? He asked angrily. The man smiled and spread his arms wide as if for a warm reunion. Oh, nephew, relax. I just came to meet you. As soon as he said uncle, your voice widened and you quickly rushed to the man. You bowed at him with a confused smile and said, Oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't know you were his uncle. The man's eyes softened mockingly as he winked. Ah, dear, that is fine. Well, my dear nephew. The word made Jungkook's fist tighten until his knuckles turned white, his teeth clenched as he hissed through them. Well, the man was Jungkook's uncle, and Jungkook never considered him a good man. You frowned but didn't care much. After all, it was his uncle. Oh, come, uncle, please have some breakfast, you said politely. His uncle nodded. Jungkook looked at you and said, Wine, he is not. But before he could say further, you cut him off. Uncle, you wait. I will prepare fresh food for you. No, I won't let him sit here. He groaned and rushed upstairs to grab his mobile phone and coat. You went to the kitchen to prepare the breakfast for his uncle while you were spreading jam on the bread. You turned slightly and there he was, Jungkook's uncle. He smirked. His eyes glimmered with something predatory. Suddenly, Jungkook came downstairs. For a moment, his entire body went still. You didn't say a word. You didn't even cry. Instead, you just looked at him. Jungkook scoffed bitterly, the corner of his lips twitched in disbelief. Jungkook, you whispered. His uncle got frightened and quickly looked back to see Jungkook glaring at him. Ah, nephew, you misunderstood. I was just joking. But Jungkook's face was stone cold. He stepped forward and forced a smile with his teeth gritted. Uncle, you must be tired. Let me drop you out. You frowned in shock. He had seen his uncle. But still he said nothing, as if he was trying to remind you your own words. His uncle gulped, and Jungkook guided him outside. Before walking out, Jungkook looked back at your confused face and said, "Why and prepare a strong cup of coffee for me? I will drink it after seeing off, uncle." You blinded and shocked, but then nodded. Jungkook roared, his eyes were full of rage. The uncle groaned, trying to shield himself. But Jungkook's anger was unstoppable. Jungkook looked at his driver, who was standing nearby. He gestured him to come forward. "Take him away." The driver nodded and drove off into the distance. The yard fell silent again. For a moment, Jungkook stood there with his chest racing crazily. The adrenaline still pumped through his veins, but his eyes slowly softened as he turned back towards the house. He didn't want you to worry about him. As he stepped inside, his jaw dropped when he saw you standing on the door. You had seen him, you looked at him with your tear stained eyes, and then you noticed the crimson stains across his knuckles. Your heart clenched painfully. Without thinking, you rushed to him. "Jungkook, I'm sorry." Your lips parted, slightly trembling as you spoke. He looked at you surprised. "I should have not blamed you for everything. It was not your fault, Jungkook. I said things that hurt you, and still you protected me. I'm really sorry." A soft smile curved on his lips as he looked down at your trembling. "You are my wife. It is my responsibility to protect you," he said softly. His dark eyes met yours, innocent ones. You smiled. "I am here, always here for you. I will protect you, no matter what happens," he murmured, and you sighed in relief.